thing though, because I watch Sephora, Mega, and Mixie, and the three of them, they mostly do gaming and stuff like that, but they also come from like an art history kind of thing, and they like to they've made a lot of their own various kinds of avatars, like anything from like, you know, PNG, GIF ones. They've done live 2D. I think they've dabbled in a bit of 3D stuff like that. Like they've tried a bit of everything, and they've also used like professional artists and professional riggers and all sorts of stuff. So like I've seen like a variation of their stuff, and yeah, I've seen them talk about how if you got something professionally rigged, you still have to kind of tweak it on your end when you get it, or otherwise it's still kind of generic. I've also heard Shy Lily talk about this stuff too. I've heard Shy Lily talk about how like you can pay for like the most expensive fucking avatar and shit out there, but like unless you actually customize it a bit to yourself, with how it moves and reacts and shit, it's still gonna be kind of crap. And then even then you've still got to kind of like, what do you call it, like I think puppeting is a bit of like a harsh word for what VTubing is, but you still have to kind of like, you know, pilot the thing a little bit to make it express. And that's where that's going to be like funny for me, because most of my like expression is I yawn a lot, I stretch a lot, I have like a thinking face. I have all sorts of things, and I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna go, because sometimes I'm like in thought, and I probably know I pull expressions and stuff, and it's gonna be interesting to see that, especially the excessive quantity of yawning that I do on the average stream. So that's gonna be funny. Okay, so that's totally fair. Sometimes you're just learning a skill on stream. If you put in your title that you're learning, people come in and help you and chat. Yeah, but the problem is like the only problem with putting up like that you're learning something and people coming in to give guidance, like I use Project Zomboid and Dwarf Fortress as two examples of this. Is Dwarf Fortress, I put up help wanted and guidance wanted and stuff, and everybody came in and I got a mixed bag of things that were both good and equally detrimental to my colony. So there's going to be people that will probably give me advice that's really useful, but there's also people who give me advice that could potentially just destroy the thing. But Project Zomboid, I got so much overwhelming assistance with it, I couldn't actually play the fucking game. And so I had to kind of back with the amount of assistance that I'm taking for that, where it's like, if I'm asking a question, then by all means people can give like assistance, but for the most part, just like calm the fuck down, because I couldn't play. And so like if I was doing something on stream and I'm trying to focus on something and somebody's absolutely bombarding me with information, and I'm like, it's either irrelevant to the thing that I'm doing or it's preventing me from doing the thing that I'm doing, it will just be like more of a frustration than not. But I could understand wanting to see it and stuff. Like I'm not gonna like, well, my biggest thing is hopefully I can like learn how to do the shit and get it done before September. Like I do want to take some time off for me to rest as well, which will be in May. I think I'll take a week after all of the main things have started, like after all the movie nights and all that stuff. I'll probably take a week off in May to rest, but I'll also probably need some time to actually like work on this in between things as well, because I also don't want to add, like I had before, with like excessive hours on top of hours kind of thing. And yeah, basically I've also got to sit through like tutorials and shit for rigging too. I think that's another thing, as well as just like time spent learning. But on the flip side, like, I mean, if I could do the thing myself, if I can learn to rig it myself, that frees me up for like potential future of like, you know, other avatars of like what do you call it? I think you can do emotes with it too. I think some people do emotes with Live 2D. So that would be good too, because that would allow me to have more animated stuff, because I've got like 6 animated slots at the moment and I don't have much to put in there because I can only do like basic GIF stuff at this time. Mate, I'm going to need like maybe more than one person on this. Like, Bical, mate, can you come down and help? Can't do firefighting. That's why you guys are going to die in your sleep. Mate, I want you. Yeah, come down here and work on this, because the 3 fires are going to superheat this channel right here. It's getting hot, but it's not too hot yet. I like that. So I like that, but some people don't. That's a big puppetry aspect to it, realistically, yeah. Yeah, well, the funniest thing is when, like, yours with the, because you're a Vroid 3D and you've got the arms mobility and stuff, I always find it interesting watching people with, like, full arm capabilities or, like, the 3D aspect and stuff, because, like, I don't know how much, like, tracking gear you guys are wearing for it, but sometimes you can hear it. And sometimes, like, when people have got the VR masks and stuff like that, you can hear them, like, adjust it. Kind of like, what's her name? I've forgotten her name. There's a white-haired, Fillion. Yeah, Fillion, you can always hear her, like, adjusting, like, her equipment and stuff like that. And, like, trying to like adjust where her headset sits and stuff like that and stuff. Like, obviously it's 2D, so it's not like that, but I was thinking of, like, you know, like the karaoke stream and stuff later in the year. Like, I'm somewhat like shitting like bullets about that because, like, I have recorded a clip of a song in the past, but I'm still a deeply shy person, and initially the concept was that if it got unlocked, I would be doing that with a PNG tuber, and so nobody would be really seeing my expressions or motions and stuff with it. And, like, I was hoping in a sense that that one wasn't going to get unlocked in the first place, just like with Dwarf Fortress, but it has been, and I'm like, I'll have to sing later in the year on stream live, and I'll have an avatar that moves around, that it shows expression. But then I realized that I prefer to stand to sing, and I won't be able to do that with a live 2D character. Well, I will, but I'll have to do it seated, and that's going to be so much harder for me. I'm literally just following Gura around at the moment, just putting out the fires, just because we're inside and she keeps setting doors on fire, if you guys are wondering what I'm doing here, by the way. I never realized how much I touched my face until I got arm tracking. Oh yeah, I noticed how much I touched my face really quickly with streaming, because I think there was a few things. Was as soon as I got glasses, I noticed how much I like moved around, like my eyes and stuff like that. Like I often like out of the blue just like rub my nose, like a quick little scratch kind of thing in passing kind of thing. I do that. I tend to put my hand on my chin a lot. Sometimes I hold on to my, like, the side cheeks of my face, like just on the corners of my mouth when I'm thinking, or when I'm like, I don't know, just passively because I can. Like, I wipe my forehead like 20 times a stream. I don't even know why, right? But I just do. It's like, you know, it's like a phew kind of expression kind of thing. And I'm just like, I do it as like a natural reaction, but I'm like, I don't know how that's going to impact everything, because, like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to look at doing any kind of arm tracking stuff. I think I want to keep this basic to begin with, just get a model out there to begin with, you know, and then maybe down the track, if I learn more of rigging and stuff like that, maybe I can improve on it. You know, that's how I'm going to look at it. Like, I would love to have like all the outfits for my character. Like, some of the outfits, you know how we've got Minty and we've got Lav and Silver and stuff, they're gonna go. So if you guys want to play with those until the new avatar comes, play with them, because they're gonna go. And yeah, I would like to make the canonical fucking outfits and stuff for my characters. But I also know that that's a huge huge undertaking of outfits and stuff, and I don't know yet how the Live 2D Atlas thing works. So yeah, I need to kind of like have a look at that to understand it, so that I can then decide how much outfit changes and hair changes and all sorts of stuff I can really like realistically do. Because like there's information, but there's a lot of the information is based around like the defaults, the absolute bare minimum of somebody just creating something, not actually going into a higher tier of like wanting to do more than just making a stagnant avatar move. So yeah, because obviously like part of the charm with my avatar is I've got the different hair colors, I've got the different outfits. That shit's interesting to me. I'd like to carry that over. I've seen some like recolor crap, but it doesn't work that well. It does in some aspects, but it doesn't work that well. Although one thing I want to do is I want to have like some kind of RGB thing in there somewhere. Like maybe when people raid me or something, I don't know how to do this, but I want to figure out how to make it that like if somebody raids me, like maybe my ribbon like RGBs or something like that for like a minute or something or whatever, just as like a visual cue or something. Like shit like that. Like I gotta sit down and learn all this stuff and also do all the stuff. And like you guys know that like drawing anything takes me fucking hours to begin with, and then like based on that I'm trying to scale up how long would rigging take me, because the average person can sometimes do it within like the month of the trial period thing, the 40 something days. Some people can do it within that, but they absolutely feel like they're beyond stress doing it. And I'm like, well, I take like 3 to 4 times as long as the average person to do art stuff. So do I just assume that it's going to take me 3 to 4 months to rig something? Or will rigging be the fastest part of it and the art maybe take me the most kind of aspect? Like, you know, stuff like this. And then I've also got to fit it in and around like the streams and stuff. I don't really want to take time off to be working on it, you know? Like, I don't want to miss a stream and be like, I'm missing a stream because I'm working on Avatar, you know? I'd rather do my streams and then work on it, but that means also spending a day or 2 of my weekends here and there working on it, which means less time to rest. And as much as I've absolutely just powered through the last fortnight, I have got medical conditions and I do need to allow my body to rest and stuff. So yeah. Mine has 0% gear. Lol. I use a program that runs off webcam. I've heard of that. There's one that can move the character based on how your jaw, like it opens and closes your mouth based on your jaw going up and down, I think. And then you have like pre-programmed like the A-E-I-O-U sounds or something like that for the mouse. And it kind of like detects those. I've seen that. I don't know if that's what you've got, but I've seen stuff like that. Like there's like a bazillion things out there for this shit that I just have to like figure out. I don't know if I'm missing a turret here. I'm thinking maybe yes. Let me just have a quick look up the top and just see if I'm missing it. Yeah, I'm missing a turret in that line. So I've looked into getting gloves, but it's like $300. Well, that's the thing with that stuff though. It's like any of the tracking stuff is like hella expensive, because like honestly if I could afford VR shit I'd be playing VR games. I'd be playing like Beat Saber and shit, because like I like crap like that, but I think some of it doubles over for that stuff, you know. Yeah, I don't know. It's sweating bullets. Look, sweating bullets, shitting bullets, it's the same principle, isn't it? It's just a different mental picture of where that aspect is happening. It's like one's in a toilet and one's anywhere. So let's just stream the rigging. No, I was saying before I don't really want to do that because like I want to focus and I don't really want like the added pressure, because like when I do art, so I don't talk about this too much, but when I do art streams I am like extremely like nervous, anxious, and I feel really pressured. This is why I normally get sick around art streams. It's because like there's an anxiety to drawing live, and I know I take a long time, and I do a lot of like perfectionist like fiddling around with stuff that's really honestly a bit unnecessary, because emotes tend to be pretty small. But an avatar is not an emote, and you don't want shit to be like somewhere where it's not, that it's going to impact something later, you know, like a pixel over here that's going to interject with that, and then it's always going to be visible as you move around, crap like that, right? And then the rigging side of it, as I said, I don't know how to do that stuff yet, so there's going to be a lot of time with me like reading programs, watching tutorials and all sorts of stuff. There's going to be a lot of like stopping and watching a tutorial and being like, how the fuck does that work, reading a tutorial, stuff like that. And I don't like, even just talking about this now, I can feel my stomach is absolutely nodding up with the sheer concept of doing that live. Like when I do an art stream, I usually get kind of sick from it, just because like it's just the stress that people are watching me. I like to presume that when I'm streaming art stream that absolutely nobody's watching me. Like every so often somebody comes out of the blue and they start chatting, and I'm cool with that. I definitely like having a conversation and shit, but I've mostly got the music there to like distract away from the fact that people could be potentially watching me. It's a lot better since I don't have the, what do you call it, the numbers and shit, because I don't see who's here and I don't see how many people are here. That makes it a lot better, because honestly, if I could see how many people were watching me do art stream and shit like that, I would probably just sit there and be like, yeah, no. Especially when shit gets frustrating, because art stream's one of the few where like if shit can get like really challenging to figure out, especially when I'm doing a line and undoing a line and redoing a line and doing a line again, and people are sitting there like it was fine 20 lines ago, and I'm like, it really wasn't. Like, trust me on this one, if I just move this over by like just like a fraction of a millimeter, it will be like where I want it to be and stuff. Whereas I watch other people do art and they throw lines in all directions and it's like it's a fucking masterpiece in 7 minutes, and I'm like, I see. I don't know how you did that, but I see. You know. From what I learned with Live 2D, since so once you've rigged animated a base model, it's very simple to re-import the PSD files with modified layers for very easy palette swap. I've heard of that, but like I said, I haven't actually like rigged something, and I haven't like imported something into a Live 2D program to look at it. So I don't even know how it imports like the atlas and all that shit yet. I've seen a few videos on that, but I've seen a few different ways people do it. Like some people like, oh, if your avatar is perfectly like flippable, you can only like, you can import half the avatar and you can flip the image and stuff like that and save some space in the in like the atlas, and therefore have more options and shit like that. You can also like make the items in the atlas smaller as long as you've got a gap between them and stuff like that. And I'm like, I legitimately don't know. Yeah, I haven't brought anything in yet. Had a look at like the program. I thought about bringing in my current avatar, you know, my PNG tuber, and being like, have a look at her. Like, she wouldn't have layers that would work for Live 2D, but I could have a look at her and I could fuck around with like making her mouth move and stuff like that, and that would give me a little bit of practice. But then I feel like in some aspect I'm wasting time with that, when I could just be going full steam ahead and like then just bring in like a proper avatar and work on it kind of stuff, you know. Stretch it out that much, you should stop doing it. Nah, see, the thing is, like, I do art stream and stuff like that. Like, I think the biggest thing is, like, what stresses me out and makes me sick versus what I can tolerate existing with are kind of like two different creatures, because, like, I will be sick and stressed from just about any little thing. Anything could happen. Like, my Crohn's could just be a little bit more inflamed than usual, and even just, like, going to a grocery store could be a problem. Right? But it could be like I'm having a great week and the concept of a specific art thing might be difficult. Like, I've stopped doing art stream every single monthly, because I felt like I didn't have enough time to draw something for art stream. So that already relieved a lot of pressure and stuff. But like, when it comes down to it, like art stream's fine. It's just getting over the hurdle of starting. Plus there was that art stream where I broke my toes right before stream and then, you know, proceeded to stream with broken toes. And there's always just a concept that I could get seriously injured right before doing the thing. And like, I even just have like basic stress with like starting late and not being on time and stuff like that. So I'm a very complex little like critter to begin with this shit. And I already have got like a lot of anxiety and stuff like that. Like I'm already medicated for anxiety and shit like that. So, you know, it's not as bad as it could be. And like I said, as much as my health goes, my health is currently in the best case scenario it has been in years. In the last decade, I haven't been able to eat meat because my health has been not okay with my Crohn's and stuff, and I'm back up to a point where I can eat some basic meats and stuff. So I'm doing really good. Please trust that I am taking care of myself to the best of my situation, but I'm definitely a completely different creature to most in a standard basic way. Cypress has got loser to join, which is great. What is your bio? You're just a daytimer. All right, let's go set you up. So I'm still messing around, and following tutorials. I haven't gotten into more advanced complex features, but I can tell it's a powerful and fun program and it can make some real cool stuff with. Just need to find projects to work on to really learn the thing. Yeah, I think it's an interesting thing. When I started streaming, one of the first few people I saw Asora had a live 2D avatar, but I think she also has a 3D one. I'm not sure. But she could move around in all sorts of ways that were really cool. And then I saw Ellie Ian, which you'll see sometimes will stream with like some of the bigger streamers and stuff like that, you know, are more, what do you call them, like the corporate streamers and stuff. And I've seen a few of her different avatars and stuff. And I just thought it was so awesomely cool just to see. But like, I also saw a few people that were like 3D. I saw a few Vroids and all sorts of stuff. And I wasn't really sure which direction I wanted to go with my avatar, because originally I started as a faceless stream and I was happy with that. But then I sort of felt like I didn't mind the concept of putting up a PNG YouTuber. I had to learn how to do that. I figure if I can learn how to do that, I can learn how to do other shit. It's generally how I figure is like, if a human created it in some capacity, I can learn how to do it. I'm not saying I'll do it well, but I can learn. So yeah, I've kind of like done that sort of stuff. I learned how to do GIFs, animated emotes and stuff like that. And yeah, next hurdle is live 2D and rigging. And then who knows, after that, if I learn how to use the program, I might be able to make more animated emotes, like live 2D emotes. And then we'll have more moving emotes and stuff like that. Because I've got like 6 slots of those. And who's starving? Is it just Mark? Yeah, it's just Mark. He's literally holding on to food. He just wants vegetarian stuff and we don't have it. We've got raw vegetarian stuff, but he doesn't want to eat it. So he's fine. Oh, we do have vegetarian. Barada's eating it as we speak. Okay, well, poor Mark. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know. I think it will just open more things that I can do. Who's no longer fighting? Okay, cool. What else did I miss there? Time to make a cursed MS Pate jellyfish. Why not? Like, the only problem is if you want it to move, I believe you have to have at least a couple of layers so that like the jellyfish tentacles and stuff can kind of move around, but you can still pull and warp an image from what I can tell to give the illusion of like a swimming sort of motion. So you know the little jellyfish art you're showing off this morning that shows like your legs are the jellyfish tentacles and stuff? Like you'd obviously need the permission of the artist and shit, but you could probably throw that into the program and kind of like just bobble warp it and stuff like that and make it look like she's kind of like swimming, floating and stuff. Like that probably wouldn't be too hard. Fuck knows how hard it is. I don't know. But like, it's probably not too hard, you know? You can probably play with that kind of thing. But when you have like art from somebody else, you need permission from them to do certain stuff with it. That's the other thing about, you know, the fact that I can draw, the fact that I would probably draw my own shit and stuff from an artistic standpoint, I have full creativity over the usage of it as well. So if I want to change it, if I want to enhance it, if I want to use it in certain ways, I can, you know, that would be the difference with that. I have a cursor to be illustrated jellyfish. Lol. But do not stream with broken toes. Take care of yourself, what the fuck. Need to bonker Prilic, redeem. Oh man. Yeah, no, all it was that particular day I set up my stream for art, and because I have my own music play in the background when I do art, right? I literally just threw on a playlist, and I hadn't really fully checked it because it had like 400 something hours of music in it. Now I'm like, whatever's in there is probably fine. It's not going to save to the VOD, and I don't really listen to anything that's going to be like racist or hateful or anything like that. So I didn't really have to worry about that stuff. I didn't consider the concept that I might have like very sexual songs in there. And literally the very second song that started, I was making a coffee. I was in the kitchen and I had my headset on because I was listening to my music. And the very second song that played, I knew had a huge chorus of like pornish moaning through it. And I like basically like slammed my mug on the desk and like ran for my computer room to try to change the song. And I hit the carpet and I slid under my desk and I broke 2 toes into my footstool. And like, apart from like howling in pain from that, I reached my arm up and hit next. And I just changed the timer to extend it. I went and like changed my clothes, had a look at my feet. I couldn't tell if my toes were broken yet because like I've done a lot of like bodybuilding and all sorts of stuff. I have a really good tolerance for random body pain kind of thing. I also have chronic pain disorder as well, and I have a lot of old injuries and stuff, so pain tolerance is relatively high for certain things. And I have chipped a toe bone before doing weightlifting, and like I remember the toe going green just from like ill blood flow situation. And like it didn't go fully green, just the area was like so fucked up, like it didn't have a chance to go black, whereas these toes went black after like 8 hours. Like they went fully black and purple through underneath, like, you know, where like your toes join like the fleshy part of your foot, in there went black. And I just couldn't put weight on that side of the foot for 6 weeks. There's not much you can do when you break a toe. You really can't do anything except for keep your foot off it. And I literally got changed, made sure to keep my foot warm, and just put it straight up against the back wall of my desk so my foot was straight, so if anything was wrong it was going to keep it straight. And yeah, I just went on and just streamed because I've got various like painkillers for like fractures and all sorts of shit, so I just took some of those. And yeah, I was pretty much fine until they wore off about 3 or 4 hours later, in which case I'd already done the emote that I was drawing, and I had a look at my foot and it was going pretty black by that point, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's probably broken. So I decided to end stream at that point. And then yeah, it was just didn't make any difference so long as I didn't sit with my legs cross-legged for the next like couple of weeks while it was healing. I just had to keep that leg straight so that I wasn't like curling my toes and like setting them in a bad way or something, because I sit cross-legged at my desk. And so I would have put the pressure on those 2 toes. So they were fine. And I didn't have to get around and do much. I was going to start doing walking at that point, and I broke them and I couldn't do that. So that was the only thing that kind of was hindered in amongst there. But I mean, yeah, I just kind of kept doing what I do. And they healed eventually, and then I think a few months later I accidentally rebroke 1 of the 2. I can't remember how I did that. I did that doing something. But yeah, there was nothing I could do about it, because broken toes, it's not like you can strap them up and like suspend them unless it's like a big toe or something. But these were like my 2 little toes. So yeah, just a bit painful for a bit. And yeah, every so often they ache in winter, but that's about it. Like any kind of breakage stuff like that's going to ache anyway, but I also have a lot of like joint aches and stuff like that from when I did the bodybuilding stuff. Because, you know, if you do heavy enough weightlifting, the shit kind of like wears on your joints. So, yeah. But it's fine. But it's just my feet. I didn't have to go anywhere really in amongst those couple of weeks. And, yeah, kind of like my arm the other week when I fell on it. Once the swelling went down, it was fine. It was just wear warm shit. I've got a lot of stuff in preparation, not in preparation of injuries, but because I've had many kinds of injuries in the past due to like my sort of sports and like weightlifting and gym interests and stuff like that. Like I have got injured in many different ways. So I have all sorts of things to support once I do have injuries and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even think, I'm trying to remember if it's the same foot. I think it was the same foot that I had the chipped toe bone from weightlifting on. So that doesn't surprise me. But yeah, it kind of pissed off everything else because obviously my hip, well, basically my hip, back, and neck all have like permanent injuries that are on average generally pretty sore. My ankles, knees, elbows, wrists, and one shoulder, all have various kinds of injuries in them that ache generally in the cold. Like, I'm pretty used to all this shit. Like, I also used to have, like, RSI in my hands and stuff like that, which is, like, repetitive stress, or what do you call it? Repetitive strain thing from, like, typing and weightlifting and drawing and stuff. So, like, in all capacities, like, this is just kind of normal to me. I know it's not normal, but it's kind of just normal to me, kind of thing. I'm just waiting to see if these guys get out here, because like I could have sent them for this, but I'll wait till they get back. I think they've got enough that they're carrying that we can go to it. And who the fuck is pissed off? Farrell. Why? Farrell is upset, tired, ravenously hungry. Colonist died. Mate, where is your bed? Let's put you to bed, mate. I don't think I can force him to go to bed, but I'm gonna see if I can try. So cheese will have to do. Lol. Yes, but it's only head. How?